Tunis. She's an assistant professor at the University of Amsterdam in gender studies. And she has a company that is doing feminine capital and goddess dancing. Can't wait. The floor is yours. Warm applause.
I'm always inspired by my childhood. Not that my childhood was very flourishing and wonderful, rather the opposite, but this is what forged me the most to do the things that I'm doing today. I decided, but to escape that patriarchal oppression, I created a kind of fantasy, imagined community in my brain to be able to cope with the daily violence, oppression, and all these things. So, and in my imagined community, I remember I created a whole army, and this army would help me to be free. My army was composed of hundreds of women and few men. And in my army, I also had a Cleopatra, and I had the Queen of Saba, and I had Alisa of Carthago, I had Hannibal, I had Marilyn Monroe with John Kennedy also. I liked Marilyn Monroe. I thought she should belong to my army as well. I grew up little by little. My army grew up. It became from hundreds to thousands, but I was still not free. The only thing is I was holding to my dream, because in my dream, I would enter Europe as a goddess, as a queen, not as an outlaw. And I arrived to Paris, and I studied, as in my dream, at the Sorbonne, and I studied gender studies, and I was in these wonderful, vibrant feminist clubs called the Simone de Beauvoir. I missed a little bit something from my home country. I missed the joy and the pleasure of the women, of the feminine body. So I started to connect again to that culture of mine, which actually I flew and I never wanted to hear about when I crossed the Mediterranean Sea. And what I really find, what I admire in a lot of women, and especially Arab Muslim women, is despite a lot of patriarchal violence, these Arab oppressed female bodies managed to stay, have this magic of being playful, being sensual, being light, being joyful. And I wanted some of that joy. And when I started to think about it, I think one of the reasons why these women could preserve that part, it's because in the Arab culture has this tradition of raqsat al-ilahat. It's in Arabic, it means dance of the goddesses. The freedom of the body, the freedom. I love that. Most important, also in these gatherings, it's like what we have now, is the sisterhood. It's like women networks. All these women would come together, and the sorority, the sisterhood, but the sisterhood which is in kind of in the sweat of the dance. We are focusing so much on the wisdom of the brain that we forgot the wisdom of the womb. This is the source. And in that new dream, I would like that we reach, and also today with WIN, an alignment between the wisdom of the brain with the wisdom of the womb, to create a line and then to remember this area of the body. More. And arms. The hands. Very sensual. This is what the world needs more. The world needs more feminine grace, feminine beauty, feminine softness. More. But we need to dare be this gracious, sensual, beautiful. When I look today where I am, also now and here, I see that I went through a journey taking me from Tunisia, looking for the unconditional freedom. I wanted to be free intellectually, politically, sexually, culturally, whatever. If you have any sorrows, any fatigue, any tiredness, any misery, any tears, any anger, shake it out.